Victor from Hill Photography. I am out in Surrey with Danielle from Protect Custom Mouthguards, and I brought my sponsored athlete Anthony from Budo out, and we got on a mouthguard today, and we kind of went through the whole process. And Danielle, I know you're a dental hygienist, and yes. Your husband used to fight actually for Battlefield back. So can you give me a little bit of the history of kind of yourself and what got you into us sitting here today?
Well, I mean, for me, it started even when I was in high school. I wanted to get into dental hygiene. It was just something that actually my girlfriend's mom used to talk to us all about being a great profession. And then when I took the program, one of my teachers was a huge advocate for kind of sports safety. And she used to say all the time that, especially at the time, dental hygienists were not high in demand. There was a bit of a flooding in the market of hygienists, and she used to talk about different things that we could do business-wise that would be kind of other outlets for us to find work. And she used to be a huge advocate for sports safety and say, like, you know, kids in soccer and hockey and things like that. Like hockey, it's not mandatory for kids to wear mouth guards, which is crazy. You know, so she used to talk about things like that and kind of push it that way. So that's where it started with me, with my husband. He was fighting for a long time, you know, different kind of venues and different things like that. And then it was him looking for mouth guards himself, and they just didn't really have anything local. So, you know, you could get a custom designed one if you did a mail-away impression. When you're taking an impression yourself, it's not a good impression usually. Very rarely it's a good impression. And, you know, or you could go to a dentist, not get graphics, and, you know, pay a premium for it. So it was just something that we felt there was a void or a need in the market for, and we were well fitted for it, so.
Nice. And then I know one of your mottos is no one likes a boil and bite, which, I mean, that's what I currently have anyways. But I know, and they're just like sloppy, and I don't know how people fight in them. But what makes the custom ones, the molded ones, just so much superior to a standard boil and bite?
Well, because I make it custom fitted to your teeth, like when you put it on, it actually like snaps into place. Like it's not something that, like a boil and bite, you have to almost bite down on it for it to stay in place. Or if you get hit, it's just going to drop down right away. These, you actually have to like pull them out. It's not something that comes out easily. So you can breathe better. It's going to be more comfortable. I can shape them in a way that it feels less bulky than a lot of mouth guards, because, you know, I can make sure that it's thick where I need it to be for protection, but thin it out kind of on, you know, the roof of your mouth if you've got a gag reflex or, you know, different things like that. People are amazed when they put them in how they can talk so clearly and breathe. Like I have people that, you know, they never had one before, and I love watching somebody who's never worn one put it in for the first time, because they're like, oh, that's crazy. Like that, it just stays right. I can talk, like it's pretty insane. And some of the guys I know, like one of them, I made one and he wanted to see how well he could breathe with it, and he actually went and ran like a 10K with it in, and like no problems, you know. Yeah. So it's a better fit, more comfortable. It's gonna last longer, and you can breathe better. So, training wise, you're gonna be able to perform better when you can breathe. And
it also provides more protection as well, the custom one.
For sure. Most boil and bites only come kind of like a certain, like one layer thickness type thing. The Canadian Dental Association recommends that the occlusal thickness, so what that is the biting surfaces. So, you know, when you bite the teeth where they touch, that it's a minimum of 3 millimeters. So if you take a 1-layer mouth guard, which the plastic itself is 3 millimeters, and then you know, mold it and heat it up and bite down on it, you actually lose a lot of that thickness. Right. So you lose what they recommend for protection for the teeth. So with ours, we usually do, typically if it's a contact sport, we'll do 2 layers or more if it's needed, depending on the guard. But you don't lose the thickness that you're supposed to have. You end up with about a 5 millimeter thickness, which is where they recommend for contact sports, especially for MMA and things like that. Jits, you can kind of get away with it being a little bit thinner. Sometimes we'll do like a 4 millimeter or, you know, between a 3 and a 4. So it's not as thick because the bigger it gets, obviously, the more bulky it feels in the mouth. So
Right.
depending on the sport, we kind of tailor it to that.
Nice. And then do you, if there's a helmet sport like hockey, like you're saying the kids don't need mouth guards, will you do like a smaller, like a 4mm one for hockey, or because there's more contact than, say, jiu-jitsu, you'd still go with the thicker one?
Yeah, to be honest, I kind of tailor it to each sport. So with kids, for example, with the hockey, because they wear a full cage, they're not going to get hit in the mouth with a puck. So they don't need 2 layers. With them, the reason why they need the mouth guards is just for if they fall on the ice and, you know, nail their chin or things like that and clamp down. So you really, 1 layer with them would still suffice. So, you know, you could get away with, you know, a 3mm or even a 2mm if it's a non-contact type thing. So those ones we can even do, like for little kids, if they just can't handle having a lot in their mouth, we'll still do, you know, what we do for them is we'll do a 1 layer plus we've got like a super thin plastic that brings it to basically a 3mm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So it's not just Protect custom mouth guards in the design, but also in the thickness, and just you customize it perfectly for whatever the athlete needs it for. So you're not getting too much or too little.
Completely tailored to whatever their sport is and their needs. And some people, like for example, if people have super strong gag reflexes, we've had ones where we actually cut the guard in a way that it doesn't touch the roof of their mouth at all. So they can still wear a mouth guard and do jiu-jitsu and not risk, you know, chipping or damaging their teeth or losing their teeth, and be able to wear a mouth guard and not throw up.
That's perfect. That's amazing. Because I've had, the mouth guard. I think the weirdest sensation of the one that I have is that it's always on the roof of your mouth. Yeah. And I can't.
Some people can get away with it and some people can't. Some people it doesn't bother them at all. And some people, if anything touches the roof of their mouth, they can't help. You feel like they're choking and stuff like that. So
now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get Anthony in the chair, and you're gonna mix up all the stuff, and then we're gonna take his mold and we're gonna go through the thing, and then we're gonna use this fancy press, and then we're gonna make the mouth guard.
So we're going to be taking your impressions today. I'm going to take impressions of your upper teeth because that's what we're going to put the mouth guard on. What I do is I'm going to mix some powder with this water. It's going to take me about 1.5 minutes to mix. Once I get it mixed, then I'm going to load it into this tray. And then I'm going to put the tray into your mouth. You don't need to bite down. I'm going to push it up onto your teeth. When I do, just make sure you keep your head nice and straight, because a lot of the times, because I'm doing this, people heads go that way, so just try to keep your head nice and straight, look right at me. Once I do get it in, the other thing too is relax your lips, because when you're doing that, then I can't get the material to go up everywhere, so I'm going to actually try to pop your lip up over the outside of the tray to the best I can, so that the material really gets up everywhere, okay? I use a color changing material, so I'll know once it's mixed when to load it. You guys spend your time getting put in these crazy positions and locks and chokes, and I'm sure you can handle a little bit of goop in your mouth. Okay, so just stay nice and relaxed, okay? So we're going to pop this in. I'm going to slide it all the way back, and then just relax your lips. So it won't take long now. So I'm just going to slide my finger up here to pop it off, okay? Ta-da! Look at that, that's awesome.
How's it taste?
Everywhere.
Awful.
Look at your teeth.
It's awful.
Okay, I'm just going to get you some mouthwash here, and then you can go rinse your mouth out in the bathroom so that you don't feel so gross.
Thank you for making me do that.
Does it make you hungry?
A little bit. Kind of like a vanilla-y paste-like taste.
Delicious. Kind of slowly goes into each spot. If you go too fast, then you get little voids and holes. So you're just going to rock back and forth. And then that way the stone goes all the way along and fills all the little spots. Next day, so that it's really good and solidified. and then I have to trim it up. And then once I've got it all trimmed around the edges so that it fits in the press, then I can start pressing the guard. And then we put this in. And these are the plastics that we use to make the mouth guard. Key with it too is you never want to touch the mouth guard plastic without gloves, because if it touches your skin, any oil, and then they won't, like the layers don't stay together. They get, I mean, obviously once you have it made, then it's fine, but initially you don't want to. And then start, and then it's gonna heat. So it'll heat for 1:50 and it counts down here. So it'll count down and let us know. And then what'll happen is you'll watch if it's starting, when it starts to heat up, because the plastic heats up from a thing here, and then the plastic, like it gets sucked up towards it, and then it'll droop down. And when it's drooping about 1 inch-ish, that's when you will press. They all have mouth guards and...
Keeping all the kids safe.
Yeah.
One mouth guard at a time.
Saving everybody's teeth.
Yeah.
So now I'm just gonna pull back on this, move the heat thing out of the way, push my little button, compressor comes down, and then once it beeps, it just shows that it's filling up. And
Look at that.
all done. Teeth are stuck in it. So past that, then I have to trim it, and then I can add, well, to trim it I use like a hot knife and like cut it out, and then you use a Dremel and you shape it all, and then you add your graphics, and then you laminate it in. So once it's got graphics on it, you put it back here with the first layer, and then you put your clear layer here, and then you press the clear layer over top of the graphics.
All right, so we're all done here. Anthony's got his mold. We just watched a demo on how that wicked little machine works. So how long is the turnaround from when they get their molds taken?
So from impression date to when you pick up your guard is anywhere from 2 days to kind of 2 weeks. It really depends on the complexity of the graphics, how much designing I have to do. If you have your graphics already, that kind of stuff, then it can take a little bit less. If I have to design something for you, sometimes a little bit longer.
Sweet. All right, and where can people find you on social media, email, all that kind of stuff?
Okay, so email address is info@protectguards.com. Website is www.protectguards.com, and then Facebook and Twitter, all of that is just, you know, facebook.com/protectguards. Twitter, same thing. Twitter handle is just protectguards.
Awesome. And I was at the CBJJF a couple weeks ago, and you were there. You had your booth, and you do impressions just right on the spot, right? So
yes.
Someone can just come up and just check it out and just get her done right there.
Yeah, and it works. We do that. The reason we do that actually is for out-of-town people, because a lot of the times, you know, if you can't make it to Surrey, you know, it becomes a little more challenging to get your impressions because we don't do mail away. So that's why we go to tournaments like that, so that people that come from out of town can get it then.
Right, perfect, awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
And hooking Anthony up with a wicked mouthguard. I can't wait to see it. And this is Victor from Heels Up Photography, and get back on the mats and kick some ass. There we go.
Awesome.